Bob, your thoughts? You had that run at the end of the first half that got you a good lead, but in between there, happy and happy.
I just didn't think we were very focused. We made the run, and then we just kind of wanted to go home to Christmas, I think. We just didn't play with much inspiration.
You see that lack of focus this time of year, right before the Christmas break, when you have that? Is that sort of typical?
Remember that far back. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, I think. I don't think Christmas is certainly not the lone reason.
Can Jay-Sean be a go-to guy for you? If you guys need a three, if you guys need somebody to drive the basket, can he be a guy that?
I'd like for him to drive it more. He's far and away our best straight line driver, far and away. I'd like for him to put more pressure on the rim.
What did it say to you that he didn't just fire up when he was out there on the court in the second half, trying to build on a point total?
He's been great, Bob. He really has. You know, I thought, a year ago, the thing that made us, kind of what we are, where we were just we're so unselfish, There wasn't, everybody was in it for the good of the whole. And Jay-Sean certainly was a large part of that.
It's kind of a learned trait, though, isn't it? I mean, that doesn't come naturally, I don't think.
Well, obviously not, because we've got some guys that, when we get a lead, are kind of out there hunting theirs, which happens. But it's just it gets. You can't make guys understand that like that. They think they have to score all these points to get noticed, or to score all these points to have a career. And the reality is, those people who watch them, when they get out of their element and out of what they're good at doing, they don't want them on their team. You don't want guys shooting bad shots. You don't want guys that don't play hard. You don't want guys that won't guard. Guys that leak out all the time. So, but you can't convince them of that, because they got so many other people in their ear that tell them kind of what they want to hear.
How is Brandon progressing? How long do you think before he's, in the shape you want him to be?
I don't know. I mean, the 4 days off aren't going to help him any. It kind of, for him, comes at a bad time. But he's had his moments where he's played really well, and he's had his moments where he didn't play so well. But his attitude's been phenomenal. He's been terrific.
Coach, did you see improvement out of Issa tonight? Did he do anything to?
Not the first half. Second half, I thought he was really good. Second half, probably with the press and those kind of things, was probably the best he's been. We just haven't got him to 100% buy into play as hard as you can play, and then when you're tired, come out, and then get a rest and go back in. And so, consequently, we're probably not substituting as much as what we did before, when I probably ought to be. But I just don't want to do that two-platoon thing, and throw 5 new guys in every 4 minutes or something. I don't want to do that. I don't want to stop runs when we're on runs, unless the guy's just too tired to go. But I don't think we've bought in the way we bought in before.
Does it help him any to have a bunch of guys that were first-year players last year that have gone through that progression recently?
They've tried to help him. I mean, they've been, that hasn't been our problem. They have really tried to help him. But, you know, you got to understand, you're talking about a guy who got whatever, 28, 29 a game and playing against good players. But he was just, you know, every level that you step up to, it starts to equal out, the athleticism, the length, you know. And so you get some bad habits because you were just better than everybody else.
Assuming that's not the first guy you've seen follow that path that have ended up turning out pretty good.
Well, I've had a bunch of them. Yeah, I've had a bunch of them. I've been very fortunate. But you know, and I know I sound redundant, but and I've been fortunate. I've had great players. I mean, I've had some great players. I've had some, you know, consensus first team All-Americas and the whole deal. They worked. They worked. I mean, Danny Fortson missed shots. He had 3 offensive tackles come in and bang on him with a pad. He started with 1, and then he just wore that guy out. And so he got another one, and then he ended up with 3. You know, just because he wanted to be able to finish with contact. And he goes through the same thing I think Devin goes through. You can't tell me that Devin doesn't take more contact trying to shoot the ball than what they allow Devin to administer. You know, and that comes with the territory. So you have to learn to absorb the contact and still score.
Unless so if you keep hitting threes, won't it?
I don't think, Bob. I still think they're going to, you know, once he gets his shoulders turned, they have no choice but to try to, and they, you know, they lean on him and they push him and they get their knee up and try to move him. You know, you can't. He's hard to move. Like Danny was. I mean, Danny was really hard to move.
Coach, what happens to these guys over the next few days over the break and then practicing leading up to the Virginia Tech game? A lot of this off time, will that have a lot to do in determining where they are going into conference season?
No. It's a long year. What, that's 11 games, so we have, 19 more? I don't think so. It'd help. I mean, it certainly every win we get is going to help, but I don't think that after 3 more games you can say this is what it is. We could win them all and then not play well, or we could lose them all and play really well. Everybody we play from now on is capable of beating us. That probably wasn't the case in some of these other instances.
Any big holiday plans for you?
No, I'm going to go back and spend time with my brothers and sisters and my dad for a day and be back here in Morgantown.